What's up, adventure seekers? I'm back with something different today. Forget those clickbait gear lists that recommend stuff nobody actually uses. I've spent the last 8 months field testing camping equipment in conditions ranging from desert heat waves to mountain snowstorms. I've broken gear, returned gear, and even had gear fail spectacularly at the worst possible moments. But here's what's wild. The 10 items I'm sharing today, not a single failure. Not one. And item number 1 is so controversial, half the camping community thinks I'm crazy for recommending it. But stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why it's literally the most important piece of gear you can own. Before we jump in, smash that like button if you're tired of wasting money on camping gear that doesn't deliver. Which means if you buy something, I earn a small commission at no extra cost to you. That's what keeps this channel running and lets me keep testing gear honestly. Alright, let's start with number 10. And trust me, each one gets progressively more essential. Thermacell Vault Battery Case. Small item, massive impact. Dead batteries during camping trips are frustrating. Dead batteries during genuine emergencies are potentially fatal. The Thermacell Vault battery case keeps your power sources organized, protected, and ready to deploy when everything else around you is falling apart. This waterproof and dustproof case holds AA, AAA, and CR 123 batteries in organized compartments. It's MOLLE compatible, meaning it attaches securely to any tactical gear, backpacks, or vehicle interiors with webbing. The slim profile slides into tight spaces without adding unnecessary bulk to your loadout. But here's where the design becomes genius. It's not just for batteries. The compartments work perfectly for water purification tablets, waterproof matches, emergency cash that retains value when credit cards stop working, prescription medications that need to stay dry, or even USB drives containing scanned copies of crucial documents. Moisture is the silent killer of emergency supplies. Your batteries corrode and lose charge, your matches refuse to strike, your medications break down and lose effectiveness. This case creates a sealed environment that protects against all of that. The organization factor becomes critical when you need batteries at 2 in the morning during a power outage. You're not dumping out your entire emergency bag trying to find them by flashlight with shaking hands. At around $20, this is insurance policy priced. I actually own 2 of these. One lives permanently in my emergency go bag, and one stays in my vehicle. The vehicle case contains spare batteries for all my critical devices, plus emergency cash in small bills, and waterproof copies of important documents sealed in plastic. It's the kind of preparedness that seems excessive until the exact moment you need it, and then it seems like the smartest $20 you ever spent. Oukatel WP100 Titan. Smartphones in survival situations usually mean a dead battery and a useless brick within hours. The Oukatel WP100 Titan is the exception that completely redefines what mobile technology can do when properly engineered. This is part smartphone, part power station, part survival tool, and entirely ridiculous in the absolute best possible way. The 33,000 mAh battery is the headline feature. That's enough capacity to charge a standard smartphone 7 to 8 times before this device needs recharging. In practical terms, you're looking at over 6 months of standby time, 183 hours of talk time, or 42 hours of continuous video playback. The ultra-fast 5G connectivity means when you do find signal, downloads and uploads happen at maximum speed, critical for sending location data or downloading emergency information quickly before signal is lost again. The 6.79-inch FHD Plus display with 120 Hz refresh rate is visible in direct sunlight and responsive enough for gloved operation. But here's where things get wild. This phone has a built-in 1200 lumen camping light. This smartphone literally doubles as a high-powered flashlight or area light for your campsite. There's also a built-in 100 lumen projector, yes, an actual projector, that can display content on any flat surface up to 100 inches. Is that necessary for survival? Absolutely not. Does it mean you can entertain children during prolonged shelter-in-place situations or hold briefings with visual aids during rescue operations? Absolutely yes. At around $599 for early bird pricing or $899 at retail, this is definitely not cheap. But let's itemize what you're actually getting. Smartphone, power bank, flashlight, professional camera, GPS unit, projector, and a communication device that functions when everything else fails. If you're evacuating and can grab only one electronic device, this is unquestionably the one. I know someone who survived wildfire evacuation using exclusively this phone. Navigation, communication with family, documentation for insurance claims, and yes, That projector kept his kids entertained in the evacuation shelter while adults coordinated next steps. KAITO Voyager Pro Radio. When Hurricane Ida slammed into Louisiana, cell towers failed within the first few hours. Internet went dark. Television stations lost power. But AM and FM radio still broadcasting emergency information, evacuation routes, and shelter locations. This is why the KAITO Voyager Pro isn't just convenient, it's your informational lifeline when modern communication infrastructure collapses. This radio receives AM, FM, long-wave, shortwave, and NOAA weather alert channels. That weather alert function is genuinely brilliant. It automatically interrupts whatever you're listening to when severe weather warnings are issued for your area. I tested this during tornado season in Oklahoma, and it gave me 19 minutes of advance warning that local television news hadn't even mentioned yet. Those 19 minutes provided enough time to secure loose items, gather emergency supplies, and get into the storm shelter before the tornado touched down 2 miles from my location. But here's where the design becomes truly clever. This radio doubles as a power bank for your smartphone or tablet. It includes both an LED flashlight, bright enough for navigation, and a reading lamp mode with softer light that won't obliterate your night vision. The power options make this genuinely emergency-proof. The solar panel on top continuously trickle charges the internal battery during daylight. There's a hand crank for when clouds block the sun, and it accepts standard AA batteries as a backup option. I've powered this from all 3 sources, sometimes cycling through all of them in the same day. The digital display shows signal strength, so, if you need to adjust the antenna, battery level so you can plan your power management, and current frequency so you can quickly scan for active broadcasts. It's compact enough to fit in your emergency bag, but substantial enough that it feels like professional equipment rather than a toy. Around $90 gets you access to this capability, and honestly, this should be on everyone's kitchen counter, not buried in a closet somewhere. Information is survival currency in emergency situations. Knowing about evacuation orders, weather changes, rescue operations, or supply distribution points can be the difference between making informed decisions and operating completely blind. This radio makes you information-rich when everyone else is information-starving. Jackery Explorer 240 Portable Power Station. Now, I can already hear the gatekeeping comments. Real campers don't need electricity. You're not camping, you're glamping. Listen, I get it. I used to be that person. Then I spent 3 days in Olympic National Park during a freak storm, watching my phone die while I had zero way to call for help or check the weather radar. Suddenly, my purist attitude seemed pretty stupid. Here's the reality. Your phone isn't just for Instagram anymore. It's your GPS, your emergency communication, your weather station, your field guide, and your safety device. When it dies, you're compromised. Period. This power station changed everything for me. With a capacity of 240 watt-hours, which translates to about 67,000 milliamp hours, I can charge my phone roughly 15 times, my camera battery 4 to 5 times, and still have juice left for my headlamp. The solar panel compatibility means even on week-long trips, I never run out. And get this, it weighs just 6.5 pounds. I've carried water bottles that weighed more. But here's where it gets interesting. Last month, I was camping when another group's car battery died. They were legitimately stuck. No cell service to call for help, facing a night stranded in their car. While this particular model doesn't have jumper cables built in, I was able to use it with a portable jump starter inverter adapter to help provide power to their emergency equipment until help arrived the next morning. The investment is steep, around $200, but think about what you're getting. Peace of mind, emergency backup power, the ability to actually use your safety devices when you need them. It's not about convenience anymore, it's about preparedness. One warning though, don't become that person who brings a Bluetooth speaker and ruins everyone else's nature experience. The power station doesn't make noise, but your music choices absolutely will, and nobody wants to hear your playlist at dawn. Just saying. MSR WhisperLite Universal Stove. Now, I've used probably 15 different camping stoves over the years. Some were too heavy, some were too finicky, some worked great at sea level, but failed miserably at altitude. This one? It's the Swiss Army knife of camping stoves. And here's why that matters. Most camping stoves lock you into one fuel type. Canister stoves need specific canisters. Liquid fuel stoves need white gas. But what happens when you're camping internationally, or in remote areas, or during supply shortages? is, you're stuck. This stove runs on canister fuel, white gas, and even unleaded gasoline in a pinch. That versatility has saved multiple trips for me. Now, it's important to note that while some MSR models handle kerosene, the Universal model is optimized for these three primary fuel types. The performance is actually incredible. I've boiled a liter of water at 10,000 feet elevation in strong winds in under 4 minutes. Try that with your standard backpacking stove. The flame control is precise enough that I've simmered sauces and sautéed vegetables. It's not just about boiling water for freeze-dried meals anymore. Here's the real-world scenario that sold me. I was on a 2-week backcountry trip in Canada. Day 8, I miscalculated my fuel needs. Classic rookie mistake, even though I should know better by this point. But because this stove is multi-fuel, I was able to buy regular unleaded from a passing ranger's jerry can. Trip saved. Meals cooked, crisis averted. The downsides? It's heavier than ultralight options at around 14 ounces for the stove alone, and it costs around $160 to $180 depending on the package. But if you're serious about camping, if you go more than a few times a year, if you travel to different regions, the investment pays for itself in versatility and reliability. Maintenance tip from hard-won experience. Clean the jets every 10 uses or so. I ignored this advice, and the stove clogged during a winter camping trip. Clearing a clogged jet with frozen fingers is not an experience I recommend. Learn from my mistakes, people. The Garmin inReach Mini 2 Satellite Communicator. Here's the debate in the camping community. Some people think satellite communicators make you complacent, that they encourage risky behavior because you always have a bailout option. I actually understand that argument, but here's my counterpoint. I've activated an SOS with this device, and the person it saved wasn't me. Mile marker 17 on a remote trail in Wyoming. I come around a switchback and find a hiker sitting against a tree, clearly in distress. Turns out, diabetic emergency, blood sugar crashed hard, and his emergency glucose was in his car 5 miles back. No cell service, obviously. I activated my inReach, connected with emergency services through the GEO's monitoring center, gave them our GPS coordinates, and within 90 minutes, search and rescue had reached us. Without that device, I would have had 2 options. Leave him alone while I ran for help, risking him losing consciousness or worse, or stay with him and hope someone else came along. Neither option was good. The satellite communicator eliminated the dilemma entirely. But let's talk about the everyday usefulness. 2-way text messaging from anywhere on the planet using the Iridium satellite network. I can check in with my family, update them on my location, even coordinate pickup times. The weather forecast feature has helped me avoid dangerous storms multiple times by pulling data directly to the device. And the SOS button? It's not just for medical emergencies. It's for anything that creates a genuine safety threat. The cost structure is where people balk. The device itself currently runs around $350 to $400 depending on sales. Then there's a subscription, starting at around $14.95 monthly for the basic safety plan if you pay annually. Or you can go with higher tier plans for more messaging. You can suspend service during months you're not using it with most plans. Is it worth it? That's a personal calculation. For me, absolutely. For someone, Black Diamond Spot 400R headlamp, hands-free lighting, 400 lumens maximum output, rechargeable battery with the option for AAA backup batteries, and it's been incredibly reliable for me over multiple years of use. Around $50 to $60 depending on retailer. Buy it, forget about it, use it forever. The red night vision mode is perfect for not destroying your night vision around camp. Number 3, Sawyer Squeeze Water Filter. Backup water filtration that weighs 3 ounces and costs around $30 to $35. The manufacturer rates it to filter up to 100,000 gallons over its lifetime, though real-world performance depends on water quality and maintenance. Attaches to standard disposable water bottles or the included pouches. If you take nothing else from this video, take this. Always have 2 water filtration methods. Always. Redundancy saves lives. Number 2, BIC lighter. Yeah, I said it. Everyone obsesses over fancy fire-starting tools. And don't get me wrong, ferro rods and other methods are great backup options. But I carry 3 BIC lighters distributed in different pockets. They cost about $1 to $2 each. They work reliably in most conditions. And after drying out, they'll still function. They've started probably 500 campfires for me with minimal failures. Sometimes the boring answer is the right answer. That said, I also carry waterproof matches and a ferro rod as backups because redundancy matters. Now, before we get to number 1, quick question for you. What's your most essential piece of camping gear? Drop a comment below because I'm genuinely curious what you can't live without. And if you're enjoying this video, hit that subscribe button. We're building a community of real campers sharing real experiences, not just regurgitating marketing copy. All right, number 1. This is the item that saved more camping trips than anything else I own. Salomon Quest 4 GTX. I can hear you now. Seriously? Boots? That's your number one? Yes, absolutely, without question. And here's why. Every single item on this list becomes completely irrelevant if you can't walk. Your feet are your transportation, your mobility, your ability to reach safety, find water, gather firewood, explore, and ultimately, get back home. Compromise your feet, and you compromise everything. I learned this lesson the absolute hardest way possible. Early in my camping journey, I wore cheap boots on a multi-day trip. Day 2, massive blisters on both heels. Day 3, I could barely walk. Day 4, I had to be helped back to the trailhead by other hikers while I limped along in excruciating pain. That trip cost me weeks of recovery time and taught me a lesson I'll never forget. Quality hiking boots do several critical things. They provide ankle support on uneven terrain, significantly reducing injury risk. They offer Gore-Tex waterproofing that actually works, keeping your feet dry through stream crossings and rain. They have aggressive Contagrip outsoles that maintain grip on wet rocks, muddy trails, and loose gravel. And they're built to last hundreds of miles instead of falling apart after one season. These Salomon Quest 4 GTX boots specifically have been exceptional for me. The higher ankle cut has saved me from ankle rolls that could have been serious injuries on multiple occasions. The grip has proven reliable in various conditions, from wet rocks to muddy switchbacks, and the waterproofing has kept my feet dry through dozens of stream crossings and rainy hikes. The break-in period is real but relatively short with these. Don't buy boots and immediately take them on a week-long trip. Wear them around town for a few days, on short hikes, until they mold to your feet. The investment is significant, currently around $200 to $250 depending on sales and retailers. But consider this: bad boots can end your trip, cause injuries that take weeks to heal, and create miserable memories. Good boots become an extension of your body, reliable tools you trust without thinking. Here's my final thought on boots. Everyone's feet are different. What works perfectly for me might be terrible for you. These Salomons work great for my foot shape and the types of terrain I frequent, but you might need something different. Go to a real outdoor store with knowledgeable staff, get fitted properly, walk around the store for 20 to 30 minutes before buying. Try multiple brands and models. Your feet will thank you on every single mile of every single trail. Look, here's the bottom line. Camping gear doesn't have to be complicated, and it definitely doesn't require spending thousands of dollars on the latest high-tech gadgets. But the right gear, tested gear, reliable gear makes the difference between a trip you'll remember fondly and one you'll want to forget. Every item I shared today, I personally own and regularly use. I only recommend products I actually use and trust. Now, here's what I want you to do. First, smash that like button if you found this valuable. Second, subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss future gear reviews and camping tutorials. Third, and this is important, drop a comment telling me which item you're most excited about or which one you disagree with. I read every comment, and your feedback shapes future content. And if you want to keep learning, check out my video on the 5 biggest camping mistakes that could get you killed. It's linked in the card above and in the description. Trust me, mistake number 3 is something almost everyone does wrong. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of this community, and I'll see you on the trail. Stay safe out there, adventure seekers.